Hello everyone, welcome back to Danganronpa 2, where we're pretty sure Monokuma's up to something.
He's always up to something, more so than usual.
Yeah.
Please stop making bad jokes.
I think this is a bad joke.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
No, it's actually good if we can eliminate that. The killer was inside the music venue. Fuyuhiko obviously thinks that, but is that really it? No,
I just don't think they were there.
I don't think they were inside.
I bet it's just gonna have something to do with the glob or the video. Let's see.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
Alright.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
Of course I agree with Miss
The lock was
Sonia.
on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You
No, it's
can
an
use that
green
as a
one.
bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over. I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
What
But
are we...
nobody rushed over. It was the four of us.
That person's remark contradicts the truth. I should be able to prove that with my that is the
The
most
killer was
useful.
still inside the music venue.
Because the only thing that would have made sense.
By
It's to
locking the
throw
door
that
from the inside,
on that one spot that said.
they tried to keep us from getting in.
No, because it was in
Seems they were
blue, so
trying
we
to
would have been
stall
agreeing
for
with them.
time.
No, it's.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken
No,
drumsticks?
it's before that.
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together
I think Gunham said
and
it.
suddenly appeared.
So they looked like they had just rushed over. I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue.
No.
By locking the door from the inside,
Locking. So, oh, maybe
They tried
using
to
it on
keep
locking
us
the door
from
from the
getting in.
inside.
It seems they were trying to stall for
Right
time.
here, stall for time. That's what I thought it was.
How did they lock the door?
Well, how is that? No,
That
that's
door
not
should
wrong.
not have.
the lock was on the floor.
Are you talking about the broken?
What
You
would
can
we
use
use
that
on
as-
it?
By
So
doing
the
that,
glob.
waited till we get
That
and
is-
suddenly
I don't think
So
that's
they look
related.
like- I
Well,
have
that's
seen
the
this in
answer.
serial
It's
crime
either
dramas.
Fuyuhiko's or Gunham's.
I think it's
That's
probably
The
Fuyuhiko's.
killer was still inside the music by locking the door from the inside.
Oh, why won't it? What?
They tried to keep us from getting in.
It seems they were trying.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have.
The lock was on
I
the
hit
floor.
L1 instead of R1.
You can use that as a by doing
just-
that.
we'll go around one more
Waited till we
time.
and suddenly
So they look like. I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
the killer was still in by locking the door from the inside.
What? What are you trying to say? What does that have to do with the fact that the door was locked from the inside? You want to try it on Gundams?
You
The
can.
killer was
I
still
don't
inside
think.
the
Wait,
music
did
venue.
it change?
By locking
Did
the
I have the
door
wrong
from
thing
the
selected?
inside.
I don't remember.
They tried to keep
That's
us
frustrating.
from getting in.
It seems they were trying.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have.
The lock was on the
Did
floor.
it change or no?
You can use
I don't
that as
know.
by doing that. Waited till we get and suddenly
So they look like. I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
the killer was still inside by locking the door from the inside.
Yeah,
No,
It
that's
changed.
wrong.
That's frustrating.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
From the outside?
How? There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe
And the
that's what they
drumstick was
used.
there as like to throw us off.
Semi-transparent.
But you can
glob.
also jimmy
Like
it from the
rubber, maybe?
outside through it. Through the handles? If the door is still kind of open?
If the it wasn't rubber at all, that semi-transparent glob was probably glue.
Glue.
I think it was a gummy.
I see.
I see.
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible. horrible.
I
It's
believe
not.
it is not something one typically eats.
I'm a Sonia.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly. But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know? That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
You sure did.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
It's actually a fair
In a
request.
quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Even quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
But when
Earlier.
Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hyoko's body was there too, right?
Question,
But it's
do we think
possible
they
that the
covered
body
up
was
that
just
paper
revealed
over
at
that
time? When
over her
Hyoko
body
was
and then
actually
tore it
killed
down?
earlier.
Oh. Yeah.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
Yep.
Good call.
Scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
That scrap that was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Now I should be able to figure out what it is.
It's the... Oh, God.
No! I don't know what word they're gonna want. Was it wallpaper?
Wallpaper, yep.
God, now I gotta remember these controls. Yep, okay.
There's the A you need.
Crap, what button was it?
A. There you go, get the L.
Nope. That's probably the hardest part of this game is remembering these button combinations. Crap.
Up there.
Wait, what?
You grabbed an L.
I grabbed something else, yeah.
Then P. Paper, P.
Yeah, I know. Crap. Can grab it fast enough.
And there's your...
I got it!
Now I understand. Hate Hangman's Gambit.
Scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
Yeah, that's like easily the weakest minigame.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there? If so,
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing?
It was behind the
A mere
wallpaper.
nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, You can figure this out easily.
I mean, we've been pretty mean to him. I can see why he'd be like, well, I guess I don't know what's going on. That scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was part of the wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, the answer should become clear. Alright, let's give this a try. Alright, which one are we doing now? Logic die? I don't remember. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, the skateboarding Tron thing.
Yeah. Don't really remember the controls, though.
You know how to jump? Because you're going to have to jump here.
Yep, but I think I slowed down too much. Is there a way to speed up? Oh, okay. A is accelerate. What's A?
Yep, I think you got it. There you go. Jump.
Oh, there we go.
Question 1. Why did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the crime scene? It was hidden. Okay. Question 2. What did the killer use to hide her body? The wallpaper.
I actually don't mind this part of this game.
It's gonna remind you very much of Kingdom Hearts here in a little bit when you play that.
Uh-oh. It jumps. The blue jumps for you.
Oh, does it? Okay. That's cool. Alright, question 3. How did the killer hide her body with the wallpaper?
They covered the pillar. Oh, alright, got it.
There we go. Sweet.
Cool. Aside from having to remember how to accelerate at the beginning, that wasn't that bad.
It's all coming together, by the way.
Wow.
I got it. Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there.
Yep. Sure was.
However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar. So using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper, and because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
Lucky for us.
Killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
The crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone.
Right, it makes it look like too much happened in a short amount of time.
They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Monami.
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? the Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them.
I knew it! There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hiyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason the killer imitated the two victims in that movie, I should be able to explain that now. To mix up the killing order? I think.
I guess.
I see!
Yeah.
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
We would think that Ibuki was killed first.
Then Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying.
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather.
He's acting weird.
Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was
You're gonna
killed.
talk about the
How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
Gundam, you're starting to worry me here.
To talk.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed.
It's the slipper with the blood on it.
Yeah.
Blood on the soles.
Oh, good. It even selects it for you.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am
agree
telling
with you.
you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
Yes.
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
I agree with that.
We consented.
We consented.
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint bloodstains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries. Then it's Hiyoko's blood.
Hiyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye!
Gundam,
We're gonna have to fight him.
Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
I don't like that Gundam keeps
Does that
arguing
mean
with
you
us.
have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know. You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Alright, what's our gunshots?
smudge on the floor, I think.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. Did you see a nice nightmare?
I feel like I've already seen an opening to counter. Is this a trap?
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words. That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right? Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating, so I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know it either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then. But regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Can't you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Huh? Suicide?
The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Why me?
Nagito? What do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
Nope.
That's totally impossible! Then she never would have killed her to begin with!
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
Then who would have torn down the wallpaper?
Right.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive! When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead.
Ghosts, man!
Oh my
She
god.
waited until Hajime left. That's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
Couldn't get down.
She hanged herself, remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
Nagito.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
Huh?
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Remember there's a hospital gown missing?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Someone put that on.
They used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside,
it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
Right, because we went over that already.
Surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see that video?
It was before the Monokuma announcement, so probably like
I saw it
6:45,
at the
6:50.
hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement. And I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Wait, what? Why during?
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
Okay.
Alright.
I think it's gonna have to do with the conference room.
Surveillance monitor, Fuyuhiko's account, movie invitation ticket.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
Me too.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease,
Blowing through my
if nobody
screen.
has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
Alright.
The murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
I don't remember what's in these accounts.
These Mikans.
Alright, here's Sonia's. Was distraught because her kimono was disheveled and she was unable to tie it on her own. That's when Sonia apparently told her about the full length. Okay, so that doesn't help. They split after Fuyuhiko met Mikan in the front of the hospital. They split up to search for Ibuki. They checked the movie theater, but they didn't find anyone. Apparently, Fuyuhiko and Mikan were only separated for a short time. Mikan was with Hajime the whole time, right up until the Monokuma announcement that morning. Afterwards, she went to the hospital to check on everyone and realized that Ibuki had disappeared.
I think Mikan's is the weakest link. You agree?
I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an...
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has failed.
Where do you shoot it?
Right. The murder supposedly happened before and during the morning announcement. The person who doesn't have an alibi for that time.
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before the morning announcement,
Are you gonna shoot
I was
him when he
totally
says he's
sleeping in my motel
shooting
room.
his condo?
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi.
What about you guys?
I don't know. I just don't know what they
I was where I was
want.
supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
But he wasn't
Aside
in
from
his
those
cottage in
afflicted
the
by the
morning.
disease, if
He
nobody
was
has
out
an
in
alibi,
front
then
with Mikan.
Operation
I think you
Destroy
shoot
the Weakest
Fuyuhiko's
Alibi has
account
failed.
with his cottage.
Okay, let's try that.
We can exclude the
No,
sick...
because that's
And what
agreeing
about
with
the
him.
Right before the morning
Because it's blue.
announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
I think everyone at the motel was doing that.
So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't
You
have
made
an
me feel
alibi.
dumb.
What about you guys?
I was where I was supposed to be, my own cottage.
That's not an alibi.
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, If nobody has an alibi, then...
I'm like, could we use the movie ticket invitation?
For what? All it does is prove where you are. And that's not during the morning and
One
afternoon.
ticket was passed out per person, and the date it was passed out is printed on the ticket.
Does it prove anything?
Probably not. But I'm like, oh man, if someone's ticket was stamped during that time. Like I said, I just don't know what they want.
Start trying stuff at this point. I mean,
We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right?
And what about the others?
Right before I was totally sleeping in my motel room.
Like that we have no way to refute that.
I know.
So everyone has stated that. What about you guys? I was where I was supposed to be. My own cottage.
That's not an...
Aside from those afflicted by the disease, if nobody has an alibi, then...
No, that's wrong.
Alright, that was it.
Hold on. Not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Mikan and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Up until I saw that hanging video, Mikan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that?
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime. Too much info.
It's not like that. She just came to tell me Nagato's condition had improved.
And we went to the hospital together afterward. So we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it. You guys have alibis.
If that's the case, the killer must be someone else.
It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway.
So it's inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
I don't know that that's true.
It feels like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was?
Well, we'll just have to find out in the next episode.
Yep. Plot thickens.
Yeah, I think they're jumping to a lot of bad conclusions. Like I feel like they're leading us away from what we should be focusing on, but we'll just have to see how it progresses because there's a lot we have not dealt with.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.